Okay, let's see how this one goes. Are we live? Yeah, let's see. Greetings to one and all. It's your old buddy Jay here, coming at you with another episode of Countermeasures. And today I'm back in the drawing room. It's episode 3, and I'm going to do another little, probably like half hour, 45-minute drawing with you. I just wanted to recap what I did on the last episode, because I did work a little bit more on that. Hang on, let me just turn my fan off. That's better. Peace and quiet. So what I've got here is the original scamp that I put together from my sketchbook, and I quite like this. This is a character that's going into a comic book that I'm working on, which is called The Call of the Sea, which is hopefully coming out towards the end of the year. So I'm kind of working on it now. The script's written, just working up a lot of characters that I already have in the story, but I'm just sort of defining a little bit more what they look like. So I took this sketch that I initially did and then obviously worked in some sort of heavier line work, sort of bring him to life a little bit more. Now I then added a little bit more sort of texture to give him a little bit more 3D sort of rounded feel to him. Again, it's all about how much time you want to spend on it, really. But with this guy, I did a lot of line work, just adding some patterning textures to his clothing. But I also liked the kind of blown out white sort of look to his clothes. So I didn't do it everywhere. I just did it where it's a kind of darker areas where you can see, you know, where there sort of might be some darker shading that might require just a little bit more texture in it. I quite like it. I like the balance of it. I also put together some more line work on the jeans, and then started to have a little play around with that. I mean, the great thing about working digitally is that, you know, you can do this with pen and ink as well. You know, you can go in with white out and add, you know, white highlights, but you know, you really do have such control in when doing things digitally with the reflections and the light. I do really like that. So yeah, and then I did a little bit more work on his hair, not too much, and then a bit more on his bandages down there, just to give them a little bit more definition. And then I think that's probably good enough for what I need as a sort of point of reference for who my character is. I also added a black background because I just can't help myself, and I was really sort of pleased with where he ended up, really. I mean, you know, as a kind of first pass for sort of look and feel of this character, sort of defining him a little bit more, I think he's working quite well. So I'm kind of done with this dude now. So backing out of that, I now need to work on another sketch that I've been working on, which is this girl here. So the main protagonist in the story is a girl called Emily, and I've been struggling a little bit to draw her over the last kind of 6 months because, believe it or not, I haven't drawn that many 13, 14-year-olds in my life. There's a whole different set of rules for positioning of eyes and size of ears and things like that, just because they're kind of at that stage where they're still growing, so everything's slightly out of proportion and not in the right place, and your skull hasn't properly formed to the right size it's going to be, and there's all that stuff going on, and you can't just take and add your, you know, what you know about drawing an adult face and scale it down, because it doesn't work. And that's where I kept running into issues with that. So what I've now been doing is doing a lot of drawing of kids, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with where this is kind of ending up. Now what I'm going to do now is I just did a very quick sketch of this on the iPad earlier just to give me an underdrawing, and I'm now going to give this a little bit more definition because I need to get her sorted you know, quicker than I need to sort the others, really, because you know, she plays such a prominent part in the first issue. So yeah, let's get on with that. Now I have crashed a few times, so if this suddenly goes down, then I'll I'll just scrap it and try it again tomorrow. Yeah, so apologies in advance if that happens. My camera's died, I think, which was causing me some problems, so I've flicked over to another one I've got. And also I was trying to play some music. I was trying to be a bit too clever, I think, and have some music in the background. At the moment, that's too many things going on for me, so so I've stripped it right back. We're back to basics. So yeah, let's see how we get on with this one. Right, so I've got my underdrawing there, and I'm going to just scoot that back. I'm going to apply him into the black, and I'm doing it with the brush pen as well. I'm sort of varying between sort of 40 and 15 depending on on the scale of brushes that I'm using. And yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just start off on the eyes, do everything else, and then I'll probably go back and try and fix the eyes, which is normally what happens. Let's see. Okay. Eyes are always tricky. They kind of, especially teenage eyes, because they, girls' eyes, especially for me, because there is a little bit of, they're sort of heavier with the eyelashes towards the end of the eye, and yeah, see, that's not quite right. The top one looks fine, but I think we just need to play this a little bit more. I don't want to make her too overly sexualized, but at the same time she is a female character, so I have to strike a balance somewhere. Let's bring that down to 34 again. I think that's a better spot for me. Like I said, I'm more than likely just going to come back in and change all of this towards the end, but let's just see. I mean, I don't know how you draw or if you draw, but I constantly move my paper. It's something that has been a good thing and a bad thing throughout my whole life. So I'm constantly moving my paper around and constantly moving, looking from different angles, drawing things upside down. I just have always done that. At art college, they like you to stick everything onto a wooden board and just kind of draw like this, and that's not really how I feel the most comfortable doing it. So, I know I keep banging on about digital, but drawing on the iPad is has given me the freedom to really play around with that. Means I can move the iPad around, I can do it upside down, I can do, it's just far more comfortable for me. I guess it's just how my brain works. How's he looking? Yeah, okay. Okay, it's not a bad start. Not a bad start. Right, just need to thicken that up a little bit. Right, and we'll come in here. Like that. How's that? Okay. Now, there is an old saying that the less lines you have on a face, the younger it looks. The more you add, the older it looks. Just going to pen this in. So, less is more, as they say. Go around here like this. So I like the broken lines. Just allow you to nah. Let me see. Let's take that out. Too pursed. Let's just do a little suggestion of what that's going to be rather than fill it right in. Just get that round. That one there. Okay, that might be enough for now. Right, I must also keep reminding myself, top part of the screen, I don't have all my iPad screen in here. Just bring that down to the eyebrow, look, and then there's a little ridge there. And again, if you can really get that as one line, it's much better. Whoa. Okay, let's try that again. Nope. Try again. Nope. Let's do that. There you go. Nah. It's just too wobbly at the start. Nah. I'm a professional. That's better. I can fix a bit of that later. It's too much. Okay, that's fine. Now, it doesn't actually look like it connects. Too thin. There we go. Wonderful. Okay, let's see. Let's work on this here a little bit. Okay, you don't have to draw everything in. Everyone knows what an ear looks like. It's just a suggestion. Okay. Put that down there. Go thick to thin. Same with this one. Thin, thick, thin. And that's the trick there, is just to pull that under. Okay, she's starting to sort of take shape. Now, fabric. This is kind of like a sort of poncho thing, I guess. Take that around. Take that around. I think we'll just put some more fabric in there. Look. Just adds a little bit more depth to it all. Now the shoulder pad blade is going to go up here. I don't want to break the line on the outer. Just bring that around there. Yep. Okay. All right. Yeah, she's doing okay, I think. I'm going to have to completely redo that ear, I think, at some point. I'm not happy with that. Let's take this out, and this. And that. Not quite right. Let's take you out. Yeah. I kind of sketched a rather mutant looking ear, so let's just do something different here. Okay, that can stay. This needs to narrow. Go round. Maybe have a little bit there. Maybe that's all it needs. I've been looking at it for too long now. Okay. So, hair. It's always a tricky one. How much detail do I want to put into it is the question. I think maybe the closer to the face has a lot more detail, so I can put some more sort of overlaps, you know, kind of do some kind of flick curls, and then the further away around the outside of the head, so I keep banging that around the outside of the head, it can just be a little bit simpler. So what I'm going to do is just draw the outline of the top to start with, just to give me some form, and I'll probably change it. Yep. Okay. That can come flick up like that. How's that? Well, everything seems to be working again since I ditched my old camera. I say old camera, it's actually quite a new one. But let's not talk about that. Okay, I'm just going to put this line in here just for the moment. I want to do that just for the moment. Okay. Okay, so let's turn off that background. Let's just put this in. Just want to rough that in for a sec. Right, so let's see, let's take that away. And I think we're going to get into it with the hair. So just going to bring my brush size down a little bit to 20. Okay. Actually, you know what, I'm not. Let's crank it up a bit. Go big or go home, as they say. Nope, go home. Maybe less is more on this. Let's take this out. Really got to sort that out still. Touch controls. No, I don't like any of that either. We're going to do this instead. lose that in there. Yeah, okay. Be a bit free and easy with this part. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it does need a little bit of darkness on that side just to kind of push that face forward a little bit. I think that's what it was lacking a bit there. Okay, and then we're going to do the same down here actually. I'm imagining on this one my light's coming over my right shoulder. So it's just going to pick up. You know, because drawing hair is always fun. Hair by its very nature is just like inconsistent and goes everywhere. You don't want to have too much of that in your illustrations, but at the same time it is hair, you know. I quite like the shape of what's happening with her head. She's looking quite good. Kind of. Yeah, okay. So we'll put a little bit of that in. Let's put a bit more in here, down here. Just put these core bits in just to give me some references. I'm going through the detailing. Now this is going to be the darker side, so we can put a little bit more in. You know, with all these drawings, they're only ever as good as the amount of time that you can put into them. You know, you can do a quick sketch of something, but to make them really something usable, you really have to spend time with them. And it's about constantly making mistakes and changing them and rectifying them till you get something that you like. I don't want, you know, I don't want anything to look passable if I could do it better. I've been known to sit here for hours and draw something and then just not use it. I'm my own worst client. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Now this side needs less attention because, oops, I don't want to do that. So obviously it's where the light source is coming from. So we're going to do that kind of around this kind of area is going to be lighter. Okay, Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a new layer. I'm going to bring that right down to, small is 8. 8's pretty small. Let's bring that down to 13. That'll do it. What I'm going to do is just start to feather in some texture into this so that it's not quite so just add a bit of this in. Take some of that right down like that. Yeah, maybe. But if we took this out now, there needs to be such a defined line on those. How's that looking? Can't decide. I think I like it. Let's do more of it. Is that even registering? Yeah, okay. Making sure that Twitch is keeping up. How's that starting to look? Yeah, She's starting to come to life a little bit. I think maybe we're going to carry on. Okay, so that's the darker side of her. We can just work a bit more of that in. Yeah. Sure. Now, what I want to do is go back in here, take my rubber, just take out these crazy edges. Just take that out and tidy that bit. Yep. I likey. So let's see if the light's going to be just here. We can still work in. Ah, we can do that. This will be kind of flicked over her ear. Yep. It's a little bit lighter over here. This we can do a bit more too. Now I'm going to stop the hair for a second. It doesn't make for a very interesting live stream, but I will continue working that in, and then I think what I'm going to do is put a new layer on that. We'll just change that up to about 26. And then we'll change this colour to white. What I think I'm going to do is, what brush am I on? Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm going to do then is I shall just go through and do a little. Why didn't that change to white? Because I changed them over. Okay. I'm just going to go in and do a bit of. Of that, just to add a little bit more white texturing into those darker areas. I think that's going to look really good. I'm pleased with how that feels. And you know, I can do heavier bits of white if I want to as well. I just think generally that kind of feeling of sort of overlapping hair in multi-directions feels quite good. You know, that's sort of coming together quite nicely. So I think what I'm going to do now is just quickly switch over and do her eyeball. So let's stick another layer on and change that back to black. Now the reason I'm working in black predominantly is because the comic book is going to be black and white with only a few full colour pages. You know, you've got your kind of the lines are a little bit heavier than others. It does allow me to kind of form the eye out without drawing the other side of it here, just here, which I don't really want to do. Okay, let's see, we'll just do a few of these little things here, because not everybody's eyes are perfectly round like that. Just bleed in a bit. Okay, and then I want another layer. This one needs to go to white, like it should have done before. Okay, let me do that hard round. Why? Gonna do something like that. There we go. And then I think maybe just a little bit here too. Just intersecting those lines. No, it's in the wrong place. Up here. 3 little. There we go. Okay, so that's starting to kind of give her a little bit more life than just your old dead eye. Okay, I reckon I've got a few more minutes and I'm going to have to call it a day. But let's do the other eyeball while we're here. Change it back to brush. Look forward to go a little bit darker on this side, just because okay, and then we're going to do the same there. Switch your brush back to the hard round, switch to white. I'm going to put just a tiny bit in there, there and there. I think we did. I could just check, but I'd also like to wing it. Something like that. Yeah, okay. So that just gives her a little bit of life. You know, you can't beat getting a few reflections in the eyes just to make it feel a little bit more real. And also, you're never going to see this at this size. You know, you're probably more than likely going to see her at this size at the most, so maybe there's too much detail going into it, but I do like how it's feeling at the moment. Yeah, okay, cool. I think I'm going to leave it there. That's just the sort of start of this one. I'm going to work more into it. I've got to spend a lot more time doing the hair, so by the time I come back for the next live stream, I'll have either completed this one or it will be significantly further than it is now. So yeah, that's all I've got time for episode 3. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will be back probably, what is it, Friday tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow probably for about half an hour, just randomly at one point. I can't fix a time for the episodes going up at the moment, but I'm going to try and start being a little bit more consistent so that at least there's one episode a week that is to a schedule. It's hard to get a schedule when you've got lots of other stuff going on, but yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit of a pattern going with this, so it shouldn't be too long before I can actually work out the proper time for me to do it. But yeah, So that's about it. So if you want to come back and watch more of me drawing stuff, then the channel is twitch.tv counter__measures. You can also see these videos and many others talking about design and illustration, and of course there's some gaming because I'm a 45-year-old man-child. You can view that at youtube.com countermeasures. And then, of course, you've got instagram.com/counter_measures, where you can follow more drawing things, more art things, etc., etc. And if you are interested in any other kind of illustration work that I've done for Danger Mouse or Pugs in Space or any of those other projects that I've worked on previously, then you can see those at jasonmeasures.com. That's me. So that's it, and all I have to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. And be good, stay safe, and be kind to one another. Cheers.